little tired after last night's or yesterday's events and whatever we did last night, and whether we popped awake at 5 a.m. or whatever we did. I want to start off by just congratulating Marty for a campaign well run. You know, primaries are tough because, you know, we're one party. People have different people that they support in primary, and so that can sometimes make it a little hard. But the good thing about primaries is it gets our issues out on the table early. And also, I mean, even though we don't have very much time before the general election, the people who, you know, like we did so much work reaching out to Democrats early for the primary, that's helpful, as opposed to somebody not wanting to start too early if they're just in the general election. I want to thank everybody here who supported me, who voted for me, or donated, or volunteered. And I want to give a special shout out to my incredible campaign manager, who I have to take a moment to say, brilliant IT skills, super effective field organizing, and people skills that you just cannot ever surpass. So thank you, Mickey, and plus my wife. And Clarissa, our treasurer, give a huge thank you there. And the other folks aren't here, so I won't mention them. I've been thinking, you know, a lot about what to say tonight, and you know, as they say, not to start off the cliche, but if you want in politics, it's like a car, right? If you want to go in reverse, you put it in R for Republican, and if you want to go forward, you put it in D for Democrats, right? So I know there's a lot of mixed emotions probably here tonight. I mean, Jack did a great overview and talked about some of the upsets that we saw, right? I mean, first of all, you know, Matt Meyer winning by so much. You know, I know some people here are from Meyer, some were for Bethany Hall Long, some were for Colin O'Mara. You know, we had Val Longhurst, the Speaker of the House, well, who was the Speaker of the House and was probably going to be elected Speaker of the House, defeated, which was really shocking. And then, of course, Vincent Green is another. Yeah, well, so people have different ideas about this, and I think that, you know, our whole party's been in a lot of turmoil since Joe Biden's debate with Trump, right? We've had a lot of stuff going on, a lot of swirl, you know, with Kamala coming in late, you know, there's a lot going on. And I think that a lot of what we're going through right now is really the result of a larger issue in our society, which is generational change, right? We're seeing a passing of the torch from a baby boom generation to Gen X or younger, since the Gen X didn't get their chance. We're the Prince Charles generation. So we have that going on, but it's not just about age. It's also just moving into a new era, which I guess every generation does that, but like leaving behind old ways of doing things and moving into newer ways. And some of it's bad, right? I mean, unfortunately, we've seen negative campaigning from the Delaware. Right? We've seen the super PACs from outside of Delaware having an influence. Those are negatives. On the other hand, we see, you know, the great stuff that Kamala's doing with social media, for example, just for one example. So there's a lot of flux going on, and that's what we're seeing. I have to say that I don't think that we are still mired in the 2016 divisions between establishment Democrats and progressives. I think that's a tired narrative. WRD likes it. And of course the media likes that conflict narrative a lot, but I don't think that that's what we have down here anyway. I tell people up north, you know, Delaware liberal and so forth, that love this narrative. It's like, that's not an issue down here because we're not progressive or establishment, we're Democrats, right? And we're coming back together now because, you know, just like Kamala and supporting her to go up against the existential threat of Trump, you know, Joe Biden was able to bring us all together, you know, after the 2020 primary victory, when Bernie and Joe Biden got together. So now they're unified, you know, got AOC and Nancy Pelosi, you know, working together. So we've come together and we're gonna move forward together because we face the Trump threat, the MAGA extremists. And now we're going to be looking at MAGA extremists in our own district. So we need to come together and keep this seat blue. We need to get Kamala and Walz elected, of course, and we need to keep the governor's house, like with Meyer, and not let Ramon, take it over, heaven forbid. And so we have a lot of work to do. We have to keep this district blue. This district has always been blue. It's always been blue, and we cannot lose this seat. We have to maintain the tremendous victory that Russ had flipping a seat that had been red to blue, and the work that this RD did to help make that happen. And we need to take our stab at our county council, get Jane elected, and really see maybe possible great change, because overdevelopment's not a partisan issue, right? We have a lot of stuff that we need to do, and we don't have time to rest. Maybe tonight. Well, not tonight, maybe tomorrow morning, I don't know. But we need to keep moving forward and come together and just keep it in D. Thank you.